Hey everybody, Billy Watkins here with the Whole Package by Premier Packaging. We've got a very special show for you today. I always like this more than any of the other ones because we're going to be talking to some customers of Premier Packaging. Today's guests are Rachel Carroll and Kate Smith. Welcome,
Thank
ladies.
you. Thanks for having us.
You're wearing hats. That's pretty obvious. You design these hats. You create custom headgear for all occasions, right?
Yes.
And for your company, the Hat Girls, do stuff for the Kentucky Derby. You are the official hat designers for the Kentucky Derby Festival for like 8 or 9 years, something like that. And you're milliners.
Yes.
I don't even know if I'd ever seen that word before.
Yeah, it's an old school word that I feel like is kind of coming back out. But yes, we design and create hats, so we're milliners.
The difference being milliners are predominantly people that design and create hats for women.
No, it can be for either.
It can be for either. Okay.
It's a general.
And then you've got hatters. You're not hatters, though.
Yeah, I don't hear that term as much anymore, the hatter word. But yeah, I think milliner, hat designer, so there's hat decorators, there's all kinds of words that can be used to describe our industry.
So tell me a little bit about how you guys met, how you know each other, how you got started.
So Rachel and I are friends from high school. I guess we're going on like, what, 20-something
years
now.
24.
We'll just leave it at 20-something. So we met in high school. We were both into fashion and kind of talked about this fashion boutique that we would have when we're older. We didn't
Dreams of
Pipe dreams.
And it was like we wanted to do vintage clothing and like update vintage clothing. Like I guess that I don't know if that was trending when we were in high school,
like
but that's the idea we had.
Bedazzle vintage clothes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
make it our own.
There are so many vintage clothes shops.
Yeah.
How do they even make it? I don't
I don't know. That might be why we ended up going in this other direction. So we both obviously, we're both from Louisville, so we went to the Derby every year. We made our own hats. We've both kind of traveled up all over the country together. We were in Las Vegas. We were living in Vegas.
You were living in Vegas. How
when
old
we came
were
up
you
with this.
I was 22 when I got there, so around that age, 22, 26.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
It was.
It was a great
Had to get out and get back.
Get back to reality. But we were there. We were at a nightclub. There were these dancers wearing hats made out of hair. They looked like big derby hats, but made out of hair. And we were like, well, that's got to be what we do for Derby this year. So we ended up
sparked it.
That sparked it. We ended up making those hats, got a lot of attention, and the next year we started making and selling hats.
And how long ago was this? How long have
We
you all
made
been
those as about 14 years ago, and we started the business about 12. This will be our 12th Derby.
Wow,
so
awesome.
Our years are kind of based on events, so the Derby is our only event, so 12 Derbies.
These hair hats, do you still do stuff like that?
We
or has that gone out of
tried.
fashion now?
That was a lot different than what we do now. I'm like, we have a theme each year of what we wear to Derby. We try to do something, kind of bigger, extravagant that's gonna
Grab attention.
Yeah. So we've thought about going back to the hair hats, but it's like it's a whole nother.
It's basically sewn into your head, so it's not like I can make you a hair hat and just give it to you to wear. Ours was
we kind of put them together, and then there were a lot of bobby pins going into our hats.
But it looks cool.
That's kind of like what a toupee is, actually.
Yes, a very, very large toupee and a lot of ibuprofen because they were very heavy.
How does it work with you guys that do you create stuff and it's just there to sell, or you work with customers to do custom designs?
Both. I mean, it started out, we didn't have a storefront, so we were in her grandma's condo living room and then my dad's basement for a few years.
The hat dungeon.
We would take clients in there because we didn't have a storefront, so everything we did was custom. There was nowhere for us to put inventory.
Right.
So we did a couple boutiques locally and consigned.
Yeah, so we could make a few that we would put in boutiques and just sell ready-made, and then we would do a lot of custom back in those days.
Bring your dress in, we'll make the hat. Now that we have a storefront, we really enjoy doing as many hats as we can for the storefront, and then we'll do like 70 to 100 custom.
The other
clients.
big thing, though, with the ones that we make ready for the store is everything's customizable. So women come in, bring their dress, they find something that they love, and then we're like, let's add a little red to bring it all together.
Takes a lot of the communication that takes all of the time away from us making hats when we have something to give them, like a starting point. So that's what's changed our business a lot. Is we have a storefront now. We have 1,000 hats to pick from, and that there's still some people like Jill who wants a custom hat. So she'll come in and we'll do something typically almost completely custom for her, unless she finds something on the floor.
They bring their dress, and so the colors and the
Some women like to start with the hat. Majority do the dress, and then because we can customize the hat to the dress, but some like to come in and just pick the hat that they love best. And
like
then,
something like this, that's very unique. It'd be hard to bring a dress in and match to that. So that would be a perfect, like somebody that wants a standout hat. Okay, well then just pair it with a black dress.
So is that a hat or is that a fascinator?
So this is technically a fascinator.
Because
a
it's just
fascinator
on
is
the
anything
headband.
that's on a headband, or we also have stretchy bands.
Or like a comb or stuff like that.
Do you ever, when you watch, when you see folks coming into the track and for Derby, there's always a couple of people that have motorized hats.
The horses.
You all don't do anything like that?
No, but I mean, I appreciate the creativity.
Yes.
There's something for everybody. We're just not the ones
Those
that
are
make
fun.
it.
What type of materials are you working with now? I see a lot of
feathers.
Feathers, yeah.
We love feathers.
Are these
at the Hat
real
Girls.
feathers or are they manufactured?
They're
They're
real.
real, dyed, cut.
They're obviously clean. I mean, we get them,
What kind of animal are we talking about here? A bird?
Mostly goose,
pheasant, rooster.
yeah.
We just went through this with Fish and Wildlife. That's why I know exactly what we
Really?
have.
Okay.
Because it's
There's some
if it's
regulations.
endangered,
Oh,
major
definitely, especially
regulations.
with the pheasants. And
Is there a particular type of material you'd like to be able to work with? Like, what's the most exotic thing you?
I mean, I love working with the feathers. A lot of derby hats have like the
artificial
flowers,
Yeah.
and that's something that we've always kind of tried to stay a little bit away from, just because so many of the hats have that, and so we were trying to find something that's our own. And even though a lot of the derby hats do have feathers, we do almost everything with feathers.
I feel like
and
that's
then this base part that's actually on Rachel's base and mine is called Cineme, and that's what majority of the spring style derby hats are made of. The base,
It's like a natural fiber from the banana plant,
in the
mostly
Philippines.
found in the
a
Philippines.
little weaved baskety kind of material.
So it can be like hardened and stiffened and
so you
molded.
can steam it and mold it.
But yeah, we have probably 10 materials. We basically that's just what we work with, and that's our style. But that's what we want too. We want people to look at our hat and
Know
at
that
Churchill
it's a
and be
Hat
like,
Girl.
oh, that's a Hat Girl hat.
Yeah.
So feathers are a big thing, but there's some. You asked what would we like to work with. There's some really cool exotic birds that have these amazing feathers, but you
it's not
can't use
legal.
them
You
because
can't,
they're endangered or whatnot.
We see them and we're like, that would be really cool
Yeah.
to have.
Peacock feathers or pheasant.
We do we use peacock, and actually it was really cool. We had a client a year or two ago.
Oh yeah.
They had some peacocks on their land and brought in. I mean, the ones that we're usually using are about this tall, and they got
because they shed throughout
Yeah.
whatever their process.
And they had an albino one too, so we've got the white ones.
Oh, I had no idea.
I mean, they're
Albino.
taller than us,
Me
some of
neither.
them.
That's crazy.
But they're just sitting there still because
Because-
what are we going to do with that?
I mean,
all
they're
of us?
they're literally as tall as us.
Yeah, but
so.
she used some. She came in and was like, I want to use some of the peacock feathers. Can you add them to our hat? And we're like, sure.
What's the turnaround time on a hat? I mean, how long does it take you? I guess it depends on the hat.
We
right?
tell
Totally
people
depends.
30 to 60 days.
for custom.
It doesn't really take that long, but we have learned to give the longest stretch of time to just give us time. There's so many
Sometimes
people
we have to
ordering.
source the materials,
Yeah.
so that can take a little longer. But also, for the most part, 95% of our business is for the first Saturday in May.
Right, yeah.
So we know you don't really need it until about a week before
Well, and everybody's
that.
ordering at the same time, so
Right.
I tell everybody the longest stretch, and then
And
we
they
didn't
end up
used to
usually
do that.
getting it early.
And then we're rushing around to finish, and I'm like, we know they don't need it till as long as they know they'll get it.
Now, is it just you two? You're the only ones making these hats, or do you bring in?
For the
folks
most
to-
part, the last few years, my mom has started working for us part-time. She
Oh.
retired and is now working for us. And then we have a good friend that he's kind of the hat boy, David. He's been with us since the
bringing-
beginning.
We're pushing them to join.
He's been with us from the beginning, just kind of helping with whatever, helping
Right.
us grow the business. And he's kind of started doing some hat making.
Yeah. They do
making
some
hats
of
as
our, what
The
I would
prep
say
work.
are easier pieces,
Right.
and then the prep work. definitely help us save time.
And
we've
then
got
during Derby season, it's like 10
10 of our best friends that come work the store.
Oh wow! So I mean,
We
for
pay
the
a
retail
premium
part.
for Derby. We just need bodies on the floor to help the ladies. So
Well, and we've done it for so long, and our friends have helped for so long that it's like we all know the drill now. It's like, all right, it's March, things
it's
are starting to
fun.
ramp up.
it's like going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Everybody's there to have fun. They're excited to come to the Derby. So you have a general like happiness within
In
the
the air.
clientele, so it's
Yeah.
fun for them. We're obviously stressed, but I would love to just be able to
We have
work
a little,
the floor.
we have a little fun, but it does get pretty stressful.
And I guess
during April.
at least by Derby week, you're probably pretty close to being.
That's our craziest
Oh,
week.
okay. So
It's-
that's
you're
our
down to the
craziest
wire.
week.
Derby week's like you're
The worst
lucky
week
if
of
you
our
get
year.
Do
a
you
few hours of
always go
sleep.
to Derby? I would
Yeah,
imagine you
we
do.
do.
Yeah.
This may be we keep saying this is the last one. Like we got through our 10-year, got to celebrate that and do a big hurrah for our business, and now this is 150. So we have to go, and we partner with Churchill, so it's like now that we
That
do
was the other thing I was gonna say. So we've been the official hat designers
Yeah.
for Derby Festival for 9 years, and then last year, what was really huge for us, we became one of the
Featured
milliners
okay.
for the Kentucky Derby.
So
Okay.
we're like a direct
So-
partner with them. They can promote us, and we can promote our partnership with them, which is
Huge.
massive.
So, and it's like, we're exhausted on Derby Day, but it's like, okay, get into Churchill Downs, have a mint julep, and then it's so fun to see our
can enjoy.
artwork everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you see,
Yeah.
well, chase people down, we're like, I made your hat, and they don't even realize it, and they're like, oh, cool, let me get a
Yeah.
picture with you. And
So
it's fun.
I mean, now that we partner with Churchill, I almost feel like we have
Kinda
an
have to
obligation
go.
to go.
Right.
Like,
Right. You got to be there.
And it is more fun now that we work with them. You get some perks out of that, and it's
Get
enjoyable.
a little more access around.
It's always a good time. I feel bad as a local. Well, I always at least go to Oaks. Usually is the one that I've been going to for the last several years, and
It's the same as Derby at this point.
Yeah.
now I'm out of. I'm leaving town for
Well,
Derby.
yeah,
We've
a lot
heard
of
of a lot of
this
people
year.
doing that,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's
now
150,
they
I don't
have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah,
And
it
I think a
never
lot
ends.
of locals are going to those earlier days
Yeah.
where it can be a
Yeah.
little
Once
more
you've
laid
done
back.
it 5 times, it's like you kind of get it.
Yeah.
But if you like gambling and horse racing, then that doesn't get old.
No, it's
Yeah.
something new every time.
Yeah.
What do you think the most satisfying thing you kind of touched on it is seeing your hats out there?
Yeah, I would
Oh,
say
for
that, and
sure.
just meeting people, like the relationships.
We get
that
to know a lot of our clients. And so, during the process of helping them with their outfit and getting the right hat and everything. So it's like seeing a lot of friends,
Yeah.
it's like, there's
And
always a
most
lot
of them,
people
like
there.
locally at least, return every year. A lot of our out of town guests are, unless they're in like the
bucket
horse
list.
circuit and do travel here every
Right.
year, a lot of them are just like one timers. So like that's a little different when we sell through the website. We're obviously not communicating with them as much, but like, we're 12 years in. I would say we have probably 100 clients that come every year,
Yeah.
and that's like a lot for a niche like
Business, yeah.
this type of business. So
What's the hardest thing about what you do?
gosh, at this
The
point,
hardest-
keeping up.
Yeah,
We've
it is.
gotten too big, and there's
Even
still
though
just
we have all these ready-made hats, there's always not going to be enough time in those 2 months before Derby because most people aren't thinking about what
Right,
they're going to wear to
right.
Derby until about 2 months
If
before.
only
is when
they
it
would
really
do it in
starts.
October.
Exactly.
Right?
If we could work with people on their custom stuff all year round, we'd be able to do so much more. But it
Yeah.
is like, I think it's just managing our mental health during those 2
Yeah.
months
Yeah.
of getting everything that needs to be done. And
because it's not
staying
spread
sane.
out. It's like February 1st. We have, last year I think we sold 1,600 hats. So that's 1,600 people basically from February 1st to May 4th that need us constantly while we're also still trying to make hats for the floor.
Right.
One
So
of our
it's-
big things is customer service and making sure that everyone is happy and that we are both very particular with color, making sure that it is an exact match. And so it's a good thing for our clients, but it's also
Slows down the
it slows us
process.
down because we want to make sure
It's
it's perfect.
part of being a perfectionist,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and our
Perfectionist,
hats
yeah.
are we are striving for an upscale luxury brand. So our price point is, $280 to $3,500. So there's an expectation that comes with
Ooh.
that type of price tag and how
Nice.
you have to treat clients.
Oh.
Just talk to them whenever they want to talk.
Yeah.
And I hope the guy when you can wear these things forever, right? I mean, they last.
Yeah, but a
forever.
lot
That's the
People
funny
wear
thing
'em one
is you
time.
could,
They do.
but
They-
most of
they
our
just wear 'em
clients,
once.
it's once you wear it that one time and you put your pictures on social media, you can't wear it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they will resell them, or a lot of our clients save them and have, like, if they have friends come in town, they're like,
They'll
go
let
shop
them
my
borrow
closet.
Extra hats.
Yeah.
You can rent my hat.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Let's talk about your all's involvement with Premier, how it got started,
Yeah.
and what we do for you.
Well, we know Jill Gaynor, your CEO.
Yeah.
So we are.
Well, we met Jill because she walked into our hat shop.
Yeah.
In Norton Commons, our first shop.
Okay.
I guess that was like, I don't know, let's just call it 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had ordered hat boxes and we're looking for some help. And she was like, okay, this is the way I remember. You guys aren't quite there yet for me to get involved, but let me know when you are. And when it came to redesigning hat boxes this year, she's like, are you guys ready? She's like, I can tell you're there.
To give you perspective, I believe that year we might have sold 150 hats, and last year we did 1,600. Wow. So
there was a big
difference. She was like, I know you guys need this, but let's talk when you're like in the place where you're really ready for it. And last year we had 3 different box options. It was like, you can get a free one, or you can get like a little nicer, or you can get the luxury box. And she was like, all right, ladies, call me.
Just kind of confused things.
Yeah.
And it was
made it more
awful
difficult
for us.
for everybody.
Difficult, and they just weren't, for how nice our product is, we just felt like we really needed to elevate the box to go with.
And this is
the brand and
this is it. This is gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's got your logo on top of it.
Our new logo.
It's terrible. I don't want to screw a head up.
It's
But so this is you buy a hat from you all. It comes in this.
Every hat will come with that, which is a new thing for us. We used to sell them separately, which is crazy because our hats are already a price. They need to come with a box. So we're excited this year to
we can finally
be able to do that.
And this is say if I just ordered this thing from California and you all shipped it, it would come in this box with an outer shipper.
Yes.
I'm assuming we're doing an outer shipper for you, but then this becomes a forever
keepsake.
We call it a keepsake.
Yeah, but I mean to store your hat in.
Yeah.
I mean it's going to last a long time.
It will.
So we even did that, right? We kind of helped test shipping hats all over the place, and how did that work out?
Good. I mean, we've been shipping hats in all sorts of boxes for about 4 years now. So
we had an issue with some of the other ones. For the most part,
not yours, like free cake, pastry style.
Yeah,
boxes
we had like those more flimsy
Yeah.
boxes, and for the most part they were okay. But every year there was at least a few that got crushed, and then we're scrambling to try and remake a piece for somebody because it's 2 weeks before Derby and they had this planned
and that's a shipping and handling problem. I mean, I see when I drop off at wherever I'm shipping from how they get handled. So
and that's
it's like
why we feel
to
confident with these because they're so sturdy and strong. It's like even if something heavier goes on that box, I feel like
and these are so fragile. That's the other thing. Like if a feather breaks to somebody that's never had a fascinator, the whole piece is ruined.
The last thing you want is for
broken feathers.
For
it's the last thing we want.
Well, I mean, for a damaged product to show up to a customer, and also just the experience. Of
the unboxing
and everything.
It's a whole thing these days.
I got really excited when they brought the shippers over and we closed it in there and then you open it and see the logo on top. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And so we also, with your all's limited warehouse space, we are
You're
housing these, right?
Yeah, you are, and hand delivering them weekly, apparently. I think that's a perk of knowing Jill. I'm not sure everybody gets that, but yes. We have very limited retail space that's filled with over 1,000
It's hard
hats.
justifying having a larger space when we're only open about 5 or 6 weeks out of the year in that retail location. But it's like we work out of it, but to get a bigger space and pay that much more money just for those 2 months.
Well, and they fly quick. From now to the day we open, we hope to sell another 400 to 500
online.
Just then. So then there'll be all this space, only like a month long where it's like we have zero space, and then it just starts to fly because Derby's approaching. So it's tricky.
It's happening. What do you guys see in the future for hats? We didn't talk about this, but here in the U.S. that we don't do a lot of hats anymore. What the hell happened? Why did we stop?
I don't know, but it is coming back. Like there is this huge revolution, I feel, of like women and male milliners, if you will, from cowboy hats to fedoras to these
more everyday type hats,
burned, caught on fire, like cool trendy looks. We are definitely in more of a niche with the Derby and like church wear and like wedding wear. But I still think with like the show The Crown, like that, the more people
Helps,
see how European women wear hats to weddings, to funerals, and all of that, like it slowly comes over. Like we have people that reach out for like derby themed baby showers, derby themed
There's
bachelorette
other
parties,
events, or like the one in Central Park.
like conservancy.
Because this is it reminds me of the royal weddings that we saw.
I mean, we love
decades
Well,
or so
and
ago,
that's
right?
where fascinators really started. So, I mean, I would say when we first started, 12
We were
years
mostly
ago,
hats.
it was mostly hats. And
Right.
we've slowly transitioned to doing a lot more fascinators, because I think once people tried them out, they realized how much more comfortable they can be than wearing
Easier to
and
wear.
easy, you can get a picture without a big shadow on your face.
Right.
So we do a lot of fascinator. I mean, we do more fascinators than hats
We
now.
probably do like 70% fascinators, 30% hats.
But let me blow your mind here. So Rachel
please.
is wearing a hatinator. So it's kind of the illusion of a hat, but it's held on with a headband. So it's actually
very nice.
not
This part-
technically a hat,
It's too shallow to stay on by itself, so it's like a hybrid between the two.
which is, those are like probably what everyone's really asking for
Yeah.
now, I feel like.
The
And
comfort.
it's a hatinator?
A
Yeah.
hatinator.
Hatinator.
Hat fascinator.
I like it. So are you all shipping across?
Yeah,
to
we
other
everywhere in
countries?
the country. We just stay within the United
Oh, okay,
States. It's just
okay.
We've
easier
done a
with, like-
few overseas, like, for certain, I think we helped Jill when she went to Ascot,
Yeah.
but
There's
try
a
to
lot
stay
of
in the United
customs
States.
codes involved with that because
Yeah.
we have feathers now that we figured all of that with Fish and Wildlife recently. So we just do the United States. And we ship to every state. I mean, we've done Alaska and
Hawaii,
Hawaii
yeah.
several times. So those are usually the two outliers, and we've done them.
I love it.
Yeah.
With guys' hats, would you ever want to get into that with hats for men?
As we start to get a better hold, like every year we get a little bit more grounded on where we are. Like obviously with a lot of businesses, COVID really put a wrench in things for us. Like we were always on the upper trajectory, and then COVID was like, okay, that messed us up for a couple years.
Yeah.
Now we're finally getting to the point where it's like, okay, we have a few years under our belt. Obviously at some point we're going to hit our peak of production if there's only a couple of us making hats and we want to stay in house. So I think another thing probably in the next couple of years is to start incorporating men's hats. It's just another avenue of sales
Right.
that we don't even touch right now because
Yeah.
we're so focused on.
Well, and it's every year, it seems like if we have more hats, we would sell them. So it's like we just keep working on making more women's hats. Every year we're like, okay, we're going to add the men's in. We need them when we're down at the hotel before Derby. And it's just,
never gets
we end
there.
up,
Crazy.
we know
we end
that
up
we
buying
need
hat
more for women.
boxes, and that takes our budget away for the men's hats. That was the first thing that went this year was the men's hats when we realized, okay, we got to pay for
We
these hat
actually got to
boxes.
We're like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe next year the guys
next
can
year.
get them.
What would the top hats? They're not coming back.
I mean,
guess,
sure,
right?
guys
I mean,
wear 'em
in
to
England for sure.
Right, that's what
I
I
think
think
we'll
about,
see
like
some
horse
this year.
races
You
with
see
a
some.
morning coat and
I think we'll see that look this year, just being Derby 150. I think we're going to see a whole nother level of fashion that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Whether those people are actually from Europe or just, people looking for a kitschy kind of look.
Right,
Because
right.
it's such a big milestone.
We've had a lot of red rose requests this year, which we kind of
Derby,
anticipated.
Makes
For
sense.
the Derby
roses.
150, yeah.
So who knows what we're going to see out there.
Well, we look forward to seeing it when it happens.
Yeah.
And good luck in this
Thank
time
you.
of the crunch time. Yeah.
It's our tax season.
I know, you're like accountants
Yeah, it
in the
really
middle of
is.
tax season, and
Yeah.
it never ends. Rachel, Kate, thank you all very much. Great to talk to you today. Billy Watkins here for the whole package by Premier Packaging. Until next time, bye everybody.
Do you have comments, questions, or ideas about this topic? If so, we'd like to hear from you. Please visit primpack.com/podcast to let us know what you think. Thanks.